Hi everybody, welcome back to my Stamperia Vagabond album. This is a design project for Scrap and Create and I'm super excited about it. We are using the beautiful collections from Stamperia, Lady Vagabond and Sir Vagabond, and I have the 8x8 and the 12x12. If you haven't seen it already, there's a flip through video so you can see the finished product. And there is a cutting guide link down below and also a link to Scrap and Create so you can get your materials there. So what I've done, last time we put all the pages together, and what I've done is cut out a lot of the mats, although not all of them. Because when I'm cutting mats like this, I get to a point where I have so many cut and not glued down that they're just driving me crazy. So I had to stop so we could glue some down. And what I'm going to do, I just want to tell you right up front, is I cut a lot of these mats in a very specific way to get the look I wanted. So once I'm done with the mats, showing you all of them going down and everything, all of these plus, we'll cut some more and put those down. Once all of these pages are matted, I will pull out some uncut collections of these, which I have, and show you exactly where I cut the mats for each page from. In case you want yours to look just like mine. Because some are going to be 8x8, some are 12x12, some are Lady Vagabond, some are Sir Vagabond. So that way you'll be able to see. But in any event, let's get going and pull these over. So here we are. This is page 1. And I have inked everything with walnut stain from Ranger. Of course, you can use any sort of darkish brown ink would work. I'm using a brown cardstock, as you can see. I also pulled a little burgundy, and I anticipate using a little more of the burgundy in some places. And then later on, we may introduce some Kraft as well. But you'll know all that by now because you'll have seen the walkthrough. Be careful when you're burnishing these down. With all these magnets, you could easily bruise the paper and make a permanent imprint of a magnet. You don't want to do that. Okay, so there's her. Open this up, and then we have him on this side. This is from Sir Vagabond. Of course, she was from Lady. This opens up like this, and we have that, and we have that. Be careful on these papers with text. Make sure you're putting things right side up. There we go. Now, for this one, what I've done, let me put this down first and then I'll show you. Oops. I am loving this so far. This is just so up my alley. Of course, all of Stamperia is. I know I keep saying that. Okay. So this, I cut the mat, I slid it into the pocket so you can't see the little folded under tabs anymore of the pocket. It's all the way into the bottom. And I'm just going to turn this sideways, so that's the mat to the back. And I am not taking it out. I'm just going to glue it in and just glue the top part because that's really all that needs to be glued anyway. That was way too much glue right there. Alright, and I'm just going to spread all of that glue so it doesn't ooze out too much. Just make sure it's reasonably straight. Oops, that was the magnet. I almost did what I just told you not to do. Okay. There we go. The rest of this will stay. There's nothing that's gonna, whoops, catch on it or cause any problems. Okay, so there's page 1. Page 2, we have this piece. Hang on, this piece. Put it this way. Okay. Go. Got it a little crooked, straight. Okay. And then I have this piece. And what I did for this one, so let me show you how to do this. Hang on. Grab I know I have a piece. Hang on. Okay, so let's say this was our piece. So take your mat, lay it down where it's, cut it to the width you need. Okay, so just measure and subtract 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch, whatever you like to do. And then lay it down, and then just make a pencil mark. Here. This one's pretty wide, so it's a little, but let's say this was how I wanted it to go. I would just make a little pencil mark, about 1/8 of an inch in at each end, take it to my trimmer, lay these both on the cut line, cut. And, of course I'm going to do both sides at the same time. So there, and then cut. Okay, that's how you do your mat. Cool. And I have this one. It's always hard to get these really big mats into place once they're glued. Especially this. I seem to have cut this one a little narrow, and a little short, to tell you the truth. That's alright, I'll just split the difference and it'll be fine. Go. And just want to slide my little ruler in there, make sure we didn't get any glue seepage that might glue that down. Okay, so there we go. 1 and 2 done. Okay, now 3, I have picked out some but not all of the mats. So let me show you what I've done. And you can see how this was cut, right? This was one strip, and then I just cut the bottom pocket first, then this, then this. And again, when I get done with all the mats, I will pull out some uncut sheets to show you. A little bit, make it easier to get the. Now normally I like to leave a fair bit sticking into the pockets of the mats, but in order to have enough to do this, I really couldn't leave too much. So just be careful of when you're cutting them to make sure that you have enough. Like I think this one's only about maybe 1/4. I don't even think it's 1/4 inch. I think it's 1/8 of an inch longer than the width of, down to the top of the pocket. I think I've only got about 1/8 inch sticking in. Hang on, I just want to make sure that's straight. Okay. Go. And the same with this one, there's not very much sticking into the pocket. Ooh. Drop that one. Okay. Too far down. Oops. This is what I was just talking about, where I just don't have very much room to play with. There we go. Okay. Beautiful. Okay, this paper is so gorgeous. Okay, now I have not chosen anything for here. I thought I'd come back after I got some of the bigger things done and see what I had left. Okay, this is because it's loose and it's not matted, it keeps catching, but it should be fine once it's matted. And we may do something to the bottom of those too when we mat it. Oh, what am I doing already? Nice, okay. That's all that I've got cut for there. Turn over. Okay, so here's where I cut the burgundy. I had this piece left from something, and it was just a hair narrow to go here, but I really wanted to use it here, so I cut this little piece of burgundy cardstock to put it on. So I'm just going to mat it onto the burgundy and then onto that band. Okay. Now I thought about rounding the corners at the top of this or scalloping them, but by leaving them square like that, it almost looks like a belly band. Somebody would have to look twice to realize, I think, that this was not a belly band, and that's kind of cool. Unless, of course, they notice the flips, but I just kind of like that idea. I'm thinking of using Kraft cardstock for the insides of some of these flaps. Shift that a little bit. There you go. But of course you will have seen by now if that's what I did. It's always weird when I'm doing these and I haven't made up my mind yet, but I know that you know exactly what I've done because you've seen the walkthrough. Okay. I feel like I might need a little, well, I'll let it go. I might need a little more glue in that one corner. Okay. So I don't have anything for there. I have this piece for here. Reasonably straight. Okay, go. And this one comes up, and then we have two pieces for here. I've got this one here, and then this one's going to go in the little space between. Go. And then this one goes here. And this came from right above where I cut this. sure everything closes properly. Okay, there. Okay, and then we have this one for here. Okay. There is that. Okay, so that is page 3 and 4. I'm calling them that because that's the order we made them. You know, who knows? When we put them in the book, it may be different. Okay. And here we have 5. Okay. So yeah, just making sure I inked everything. I'll show you, but these 2 mats came from side by side. You know, it's one piece of paper on a 12 by 12, and then these 2 little ones came from side by side on an 8 by 8. I just liked the scale of the 12 by 12 a lot for this. The piece that we just laid down in the flaps on the previous page is, let me show you in a second. Let me just get this down. I want to be talking and make a mistake. The other side of this. So these 2 pieces were scraps from that. And again, I will, oops, I got glue there. I will show you. Okay. I need a baby wipe. This one's getting pretty grubby. I got another one over here. Well, that one's pretty grubby too. Okay, there we go. I use CVS brand baby wipes. Thanks. There's way too much glue there. Open. I haven't chosen mats yet for the insides here, but I do have this one for here. Catching that. Tear it. And okay, there's that. Okay, and then where'd you come from? Hang on. Okay, this doesn't go here. This is 6, and I'm not putting anything down on 6 yet. This is 5, this is 6, because we're going to do some magnets and attach something to that. So I'm going to wait on that for a bit. So that is 5 and 6. Okay. And this is 7. And we did something similar here as to what we did on that vertical, you know, the little horizontal pockets rather that we had earlier. Okay. Doing pockets like this is fun because, you know, you're going to have things in the pockets, so it won't really be obvious what you've done until somebody pulls things out of the pocket, and then they see that you've got this continuous pattern across the pocket. Okay, just be careful not to use too much glue on the part of the paper that's going into the pocket, as you do not want to glue your pocket shut. That little ruler is nice because it's flexible, so you really can get in there and press down to get your mats pressed down. I think I have a link to it below in the description box. I'm not really sure, to tell you the truth. If I don't, I'll try to remember to put it there. It's you can probably find it anywhere though. I mean, I don't think they're uncommon. Seems like the kind of thing they'd have at the checkout line of the office supply store, because that's about how expensive it is. I think I paid about $3 for it. I actually have 2 of them. There's another one floating around somewhere, because I lost one and then I found it after I bought a replacement, of course. Okay, all right, back here. All right, so we have this one. It's going back here on page 8. This particular page was designed specifically with the idea of having these full-size mats here. They show off the paper and they give you a lot of room to put some big photos if you want to. I never put photos in my books, but if you wanted to, there's plenty of room. Okay. So these 2 I haven't picked yet, but you can see how this works. It's right across. And we probably will do a little tuck spot or something at the bottom and add something, but we don't need to do it yet. Okay, so that is that. That's all the mats that I have cut out. All right, so I'm going to take a break. I'm going to pick out the rest of the mats and come back. We'll finish the mats, and then, like I said, I will pull out some uncut collections and show you where everything came from, so that you'll know when you're doing yours, and that way you can sort of follow along and freeze frame if you need to get the same look. All right, so I'll be back in a little bit. Okay, I am back. I have just about finished matting, and I'll show you that. But I need to make the policy envelope for page 6 so that I can mat that. And I thought that I would show you how to go about it. I wanted to make one that has a finished envelope size of 4x6. That'll fit the mats from the 12x12 Sir Vagabond really well. So let me show you how to do that. You can buy one, but they're not hard to make. So I'm going to start with a 10x10 square. All right. And what you want to do is score it at 3 inches and 7 inches, and then rotate it and score it at 1.5 and 7.5. Okay, that out of the way. That's all we need to do for that. And I'm just going to fold these so we can see everything. And we may do, we may trim it more or differently or whatever. But that's a good starting point. Okay. Like that. Now, you do not need the corners. So let me see where I have a pair of scissors. Here they are. So much stuff. Okay, so I'm going to cut out the corners. There we go. All right. So now we have sort of the bare structure. And the way these work is you fold one side over, fold the other side over, fold the bottom up. And you can see I'm having trouble, and I'll show you what we're going to do about that. And then the top down. So the first thing you want to do is cut angles on all of these. So this is the bottom one with the shorter flap. So let's take a pencil, and I don't know what I did with my pencil. There it is. Okay, so let's go, it doesn't have to be much. Let's go a 1/2 inch. So just make a mark 1/2 inch up from the outer edge. And you don't have to draw a line, you can eyeball it if you want, but I am drawing a line just like that. And then repeat that on this side. Okay, and then cut those triangles out with your scissors. Like that. So now you can see it will fold easily. However, this little square bottom isn't quite right either. So in order to make that look a little nicer, we are going to mark 1/4 inch in from each end. Same thing, draw a line. Hope you could see that. I think I was off camera. And line, and then cut. Like that. Now I think we should round the corners. I have one of these, we are memory keeper corner chopper thingies. So I'm going to do a 1/4 inch round. Maybe. I'm not sure it's going to fit. Let's see if 1/2 inch is going to fit. Okay, 1/2 inch. There we go. I just want to round it a little bit. Like that. Okay, so that's essentially the bottom. This is a little wide. We could take a little bit off. It doesn't have to overlap quite that much. And get this seam closer to the center. Let's do that. That's how I do this. I just sort of start with a square and then adjust as needed until I get where I want to be. So right now it's overlapping. It looks like a good 2 inches. So I think I'm going to take about, how much is that? Just eyeballing here, about, I'm going to take 3/4 of an inch off each side. That's a little better. Okay. All right, now we have the top. And what we need to do here is decide how far down do we want this to come. And it needs to be quite a bit more steeper of an angle than that, because you need to be able to get things in and out of this. So how big is that? That's 2.5. I think I think 1.5. Yeah, okay. So we're going to do the same thing here, except we're going to go 1.5. So make a mark, 1.5 inches. Draw a line. And then do the same on this side. I made that line on that mark a little big. Try not to make your mark quite so big because it may show. Okay. Go. All right, so now we have this situation, and I like this to be curved a little bit, so I am going to grab, what am I going to grab? I need something round. What's this? I think that's too big. Okay, look at something on my desk. Let's see, I actually have these little dies which are specifically for cutting the closures for these kind of albums. I think that'll work. So I'm just gonna, that's about the size of what, a nickel? So that'll work for you as well. And I'm just making a tiny little curve there. You could even eyeball it if you want. You just want to take that sharp edge. So I'll do the other, I'll eyeball the other one so you can see. So I'm basically just putting my scissors there and curving them around, just like that. There, okay. Now we have the top, and we want the top, I'm trying to decide if the top is too long. You could take, yeah, let's take a 1/2 inch off the top. Excuse me. And you could cut your paper smaller to begin with so you don't trim them. I just find it easier to start big and then adjust as needed. All right, and then we want to angle this. So let's come in. It doesn't have to come in too far. Let's say 1/2 inch. Maybe not even 1/2 inch. Yeah, 1/2 inch. Okay. That. And like that. Okay. There's that. So we have that, we have that, and we have that, and I think we should curve that as well. And I think I want a sharper curve on that than what I had. Maybe, hang on, what's this thing? It's this little bead storage thingy. Let's see. How big is that curve? That's actually pretty good. them not look equal. Did I drop them properly? Hang on. Okay. And at this point, everything is personal taste. If you don't want a curve, don't make a curve. Oh my goodness, I do that very smoothly. There. That's it. Homemade policy envelope. Okay? And then we'll get back to this because we have to mat it, but as long as I have it flat like this, I'm going to go ahead and ink it. Okay. Alright, so it's going to go like this. And try to decide. It's going to be matted on this side. Somehow we need to get magnets on this side. Thinking we may have to put the magnets on that side. There's not really any good way to put them on this side. And they should be strong enough to stick through whatever's in this envelope. Should be all right. Okay. Let's grab that page. All right, so this envelope is going to be centered pretty much on this page. We need 4 magnets. My goodness, we have gone through a lot of magnets on this thing. Okay. So, that being the case, good eyeballing. All right, so we want a magnet about 2.5 inches down and 3 inches across. So let's go 2.5. It's going to be hidden under a mat, so it's all right to make a mark. 2.5 by 3. Okay. And then from the bottom, we want the same thing, 2.5 up. By 3. Okay. So there's the magnets there, and that can now be matted. Excuse me. And then this this is going here. And since we're going to center it, we can kind of open it and do it this way. Right? No, we can do it this way. I don't know what I'm thinking. Okay. So just sort of eyeball, or measure if you want, the center. Like that. Open it up. And that's where the magnets are going. That looks pretty good. And what we'll do is put a little mat inside this envelope to prevent these magnets from being a problem. Maybe we'll do the burgundy. Since we used it in only one place so far, I need to use it somewhere else. There's that. Okay. And as long as we have it open, let's go ahead and put that burgundy mat in there. Now you can use whatever you have. I just happen to have burgundy here because I thought it would go. Let me see if I have a scrap. Let's see. All right. It sounded like a magnet. No? Okay. Alright, so we're going to cut this mat 3 7/8 by 5 7/8. And I am not going to ink the burgundy. I think I have these magnets, I just realized, on upside down. I need to turn them over because we actually want to stick this down the other way. I thought of that. Doesn't matter on here because it's the ones that are on the book that we'll turn over. Okay. So we're going to do that and that and that. Let's lift it up. Yeah, it's not going to stick. So I just need, all I need to do is turn these magnets over. Leave them where they're at, but turn them over. There, but this looks crooked. I think this top one needs to move over a little. Now I feel like the bottom one needs to move over. Just a hair. Okay, that's good. All right, let me tape these into place. Remember that when you're doing yours. Okay. What I did with my little, here it is. All right. There's that. Now, I just want to pick which, I'm going to use a cut apart on this envelope, and I want to pick which one so that I know what to use for the background. So it's one of these three. Excuse me. I think I'm going to use this one because we've already used these two things elsewhere, unless we want to use the back. This is kind of cool because you could journal on it. You could journal on this one, but it's, I think it's too dark with the brown. I'm going to use this one. All right, so let's go ahead and cut that out. Oops. All these magnets, my pages sticking together. Okay, so we're going to use this here. So we need something here, and I feel like it needs to be something a little brighter because this is kind of drab. Okay, so this one it's going to be. All right, so let me go ahead and just glue this down to start, and actually we can glue our envelope shut. Okay, so now I'm just going to run a bead of glue right there. Okay. And then this just gets glued up like this. Be careful not to put glue at the bottom or you'll, well, I mean, it won't be a huge crisis, but you don't really want to. Okay. And we'll figure out a closure for this envelope later. sure I'm putting it right side up. And then we're going to center it. Looks good. Now we need to cut this one, and then I will review all the mats with you. And I kind of want to center this. Actually, if I just cut it from this side, it'll be fine. It doesn't have to be dead center. All right. Good thing I checked. I almost put that on upside down. Okay, here we go. Just had a paranoid moment about that. Okay. Oops. There we go. Doesn't want to stick. It's definitely off center a little bit. Probably because I had the magnets upside down when I was putting them in. So, well, nothing I can do about it. It is what it is. You know what? I'll embrace it. And we'll put it down like that, and maybe we'll put something up there. It's going to drive me crazy though. But I don't think there's anything I can do about it. Hang on. Okay, so what I did is I wasn't paying attention, and when I centered this and put the magnets down, I had it upside down. So what I can do is remat this, and you'll never see this one mat. Okay, you do yours correctly. Check to see if it's right side up. Later on, I'll remat this. I have more paper, so I have another one of these. Okay, so I'm going to leave it like that while I show you what I've got. That's 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. All right, let me get rid of some things. A lot of things here. Okay, so let me show you. Excuse me, I have such a tickle in my throat today. Okay, I'm just going to try to point out all the mats. So this page, let's start with this one. Okay, so this page here was designed specifically for these mats. So this is from the 8x8 Lady Vagabond, and this is from the 8x8 Sir Vagabond. Okay, and these are scraps from those pages. Okay, here and here. So, like, this is, here's Lady Vagabond, that's this piece. Okay, and then this piece is from the other side of Sir Vagabond. This piece is from the 12x12 Lady Vagabond. It's the 12x12 version of this piece. Okay, so that's that one. Oops, wrong way. And then on this side, this is pretty sure 8x8 Sir Vagabond. Let me double check. Yeah. All right. So this is from the 8x8 of Sir Vagabond. And trying to find out. I think this might be from. I thought that was Sir Vagabond also. Let me just see. Oh, is that one? Yeah. Okay. What is it? 8x8. Yes. Okay. So this is from the 8x8 Sir Vagabond also. Okay. So it looks like we used both sides of that. Okay, both sizes. Now this one, this is the 12x12 Lady Vagabond. I'll show you. No, it's the 8x8. I lied. Okay, it's the 8 by 8. That's why I wanted to check. So I just cut 1, 2, 3 to get that. Okay. And then this, I think, is 12 by 12. Yeah. Or is it 8 by 8? No, it's 8 by 8. Okay, so this is 8 by 8 Lady Vagabond. And this is 12 by 12 Lady Vagabond. That's that, but in the 12 by 12. And this is from the other side of that piece, the 12 by 12. And then there's, let me show you, I put Kraft inside. Okay. So that's that page. Okay, this page is the other side of this. So when we cut this, we had this left here from the 8 by 8 Lady Vagabond, and that's that. This, and it's got Kraft on the back. This is the other part of that 12 by 12. This, I believe, this is Sir Vagabond, and I think that's the 8 by 8. Let me see. Yeah, so this is 8 by 8 Sir Vagabond. And that, I believe, is also 8 by 8 Sir Vagabond. Yes, that's the 8 by 8 Sir Vagabond. Okay. So you know, all right. So that's that one. Now this one, okay, the background behind the, not the little narrow strips, but these two background pieces are 12 by 12, and they are Lady Vagabond. So Lady Vagabond 12 by 12. And then this piece is Sir Vagabond, I believe. Yes, Sir Vagabond in the 8 by 8. These little narrow strips. And they are, I had a piece left over, I'm pretty sure, from doing something else. So you should as well if you're cutting in order. And then inside, this is 8 by 8 from Sir Vagabond. This is 8 by 8 from Lady Vagabond. This is from Sir Vagabond 8 by 8. Okay. And then on this side, you just saw me cut that. So that's the 8 by 8. What did we say that was? Lady Vagabond, right? Yeah, 8 by 8 Lady Vagabond. And this is from the 12 by 12 cut aparts. And I'm going to remat that because I did it upside down. Okay, so that's that. All right, this is from the 8 by 8, I'm sure, but let me double check. Yeah, okay, so this is the 8 by 8 Sir Vagabond. You can see I just cut it right across, okay? And this is the 12 by 12 Sir Vagabond. That's this one, but in the 12 by 12. And I just cut the right side of the page here and the left side of the page here. Okay, and then this is 8 by 8 Lady, I think. Yeah, this is Lady Vagabond. Yeah, so this is the 8 by 8 Lady Vagabond. And this is the 12 by 12 Sir Vagabond, I'm sure. Double check. Yeah, this is the back of that one that has the angel on it. Yeah, so this is the 12 by 12, and I just cut it the same as the other one. The right side of the page and then the left side of the page, but in the 12 by 12. Okay. That is all of the mats so far. So I am going to stop now. I think putting on a mat upside down is probably a sign that it's time to stop. I've been recording for almost 10 hours. Well, not recording the whole time, but I've been working on this for 10, actually more than 12 hours. It's definitely time to stop. Fix this mat. And I will, let me see, where are we at? Okay. All right, so when we come back next time, we will put the pages in the book. So check the cutting guide and make a cover using those measurements. If you need help with how to make the cover, see my construction playlist, and I'll try to remember to link it here, and I will show you how to make a cover. And so we'll put these in, and then we need to do the cover and figure out what we're going to put on the inside covers. So that's definitely next time, and then whatever we can get to after that, we'll do. Okay. Thank you so much for watching. I have had so much fun today. I don't even know how many videos I recorded today. I don't know how much, but I literally designed this album, cut out all the pieces, constructed it, matted it all today. So, but I was having fun and I didn't want to stop. So I hope you have fun with it as well. Remember, this is a design project for Scrap and Create, and I will have a link down below where you can get all your supplies. It's where I have gotten all of my Stamperia for years. It's just, they're the best. They have everything. And I will see you next time, and we'll keep going with this album. Please like, share, subscribe, etc., etc. It really helps my channel. I really appreciate it. And I will see you next time. Bye-bye.